Sir.
John, did that health aid bill pass?
Yes.
Does that mean that Aunt Mary's gonna take care of grandma and she has to join the union?
Well, she doesn't have a choice. She's been forced into the union. If she is a private healthcare worker and if she receives a state subsidy for either a Medicaid state subsidy or
The patient?
yeah, the patient, if the patient receives a subsidy through the state and or for a daycare worker, if there's a state subsidy.
Who sets the wage?
Who said there is no, the way it's set by the state. The state has declared itself the employer for the purposes of routing a portion of that state subsidy, which is supposed to go to the beneficiary, as part of the wage for the union worker, takes a chunk of that from them, sticks it in the state union coffers, so they route it to the state union, and nothing, it doesn't.
So grandma gets less money to buy
Well,
groceries?
for now. Eventually what will happen is your taxes will go up to support that difference. That's what's going to happen. So really all it is taking state tax dollars, routing it through a fictitious union system, and sticking it in state union coffers. It was one of the few times that I left the house feeling dirty. I mean, I was like, I could not believe what was going on, because it was money laundering. I mean, it just rank money laundering. And know that the law is under legal challenge, because it probably violated at least 2 sections of the 34 Labor Relations Act by the way the union was formed. So it is under legal challenge, but let's assume if it stands the way it is, we're taking state dollars that are supposed to help poor people and all people, taking a chunk of that, calling it union dues, and throwing it right over to the state
And
employee.
what does the Attorney General say?
Well, so far nothing.
Yeah.
So far nothing.
Nice.
It was unfortunate. It really was. My head was spinning. There's a lot of other stuff you disagree on, but fine. You know, you come out of it and say, listen, we don't have the numbers, we don't have the numbers. And there were some Democrats who stood up and said the same thing. It wasn't a lockstep party line vote, because even a few of the guys on the other side who tend to be in the middle said, we can't do this. This is insane. Well, they still have the numbers to pass it. So, yeah, it's been passed, and unless that legal challenge knocks it down, which it could, because there are some issues with it, that'll be the law of the land, at least until our next governor gets the theory is, I think that the majority doesn't think that we care. I think they can get away with it, because they can, because they have the numbers, and they figure, well, we'll roll with the punches. So we'll lose a couple of guys in elections. We don't care. We have the numbers right now. I mean, from last year's special session budget implementer, and this year's special session, let's see, we've had sex offenders get released early without a public hearing. There wasn't a public hearing on that, in violation of actually a constitutional right in our state, right? That just got jammed in the bill and run through, no public hearing on it. We had the underground storage tank program, which actually, the program the governor wanted was defeated in committee on a bipartisan effort. We spent 2 days on testimony, people coming up, testifying about it, said, don't do this, you're going to put us out of business, small gas station owners. Well, that got jammed back in the bill. Forget about the committee vote, we're going to do it anyway. I mean, there's a bunch of stuff. The city of Bridgeport is now going to have their education system run out of Hartford, because, by the way, what did we send them, 30 million? I forget.
3.5. That was the payoff.
It was insane stuff.
And vaccines and pediatricians' offices.
That was the vaccines, right?
Shut them down.
Yeah, the doctors now have to buy vaccines from the state, which is slower and more expensive in most cases than the way that state law. If you're a doctor and you get vaccines, you have to buy it from the state. Well, we have a doctor in the Republican caucus stands up and says, "What are you people crazy? I mean, this is one of the things we do well as our healthcare system in this state is vaccinate children. But now the state's going to get in the action, take a piece of it. That was done. No public hearing, jammed inside the bill. This is the kind of stuff that a lot of people don't want to hear it. Cocktail parties, barbecues, bar mitzvah, they don't want to hear it, but they have to, because at some point all of this garbage weighs down the ship, and we're gonna sink. And it's just the way it is.